go get them again.
What's going on, fragrance family? Welcome to the Rogue Zoe channel. I'm your host Mark, and welcome to an unboxing first impression video on the brand of ds&durga, and this one called Mississippi Medicine. Now, this fragrance, of course, not going to be unboxed. It's a tester, purchased for super cheap. If you recall, at the start of the year, I said I purchased several ds&durga testers for really cheap. They come in this generic white box, so there's no need to unbox that. However, if you've been a subscriber of this channel this year, you've seen me sample quite a bit from this brand. This one was not sampled. I don't have a video on this. It was a blind buy off the strength of the rest of the line, and you know, I go on websites here and there and just faintly look at the reviews and go, okay, this should be a good one. It was well under $100 Canadian under it. So rolling the dice on a brand that's been actually pretty good for me is a win. So let's see if this was a big win, a little win, or an actual loss. Again, first impressions aren't everything, but they are everything sometimes. So let's sniff this one. Let's see what Mississippi Medicine brings to the table. I brought my little test strip just in case, but it is going to be my scent of the day today, so I'm going to spray liberally like I always do. And there we go. And let's sniff this one out. So the first thing that comes to mind, hold on. First thing that comes to mind is another fragrance that I sampled from the brand called Bowmakers. Now the reason I say that is this fragrance has some similarities. It looks like Mr. Maltz, the nose, and the owner of the brand really likes to utilize woods. And there's a lot of woods in here, but there's also you almost feel like saying there's some sort of resinous balsamic thing going on with a lot of his fragrances, including Bowmakers, and that's where I'm going with this. I'm not saying they smell alike, they don't, but it does smell like, what can I say? I feel like I'm smelling some cypress here, some green woods, some pine. There's a little bit of a smoky feel, but there's also kind of, it's medicinal in a way, so I could see why it would be called medicine, because there's almost a cooling herbal touch here in this release, a really interesting thing right there. But there's that wood polish, varnish kind of thing going on, burnt out campfire type of smoke, but not that much smoke. There's a little bit here. It doesn't have that Home Depot feel, like you're getting straight up cedar wood. There's a little bit of that feel, but it's more about pine, like cypress, greens. But there's a coolness to this fragrance too at the same time. So, you know, there's a lot of dryness in this release, but the wood smells wet. And that is a very neat trick. Yeah. Okay, so medicinal, like the name says, yes, 100%. It does have almost a resinous feel, almost like a wood polish type of smell, which he has utilized in the past. Little bit of smoke, lots of greens, pine. Let's take cypress into play also. There is some cedar wood in here, very woody scent actually, but there's a cooling factor, herbal cooling factor. I wouldn't say mint or something like that, but there is something in there that brightens up the fragrance. And yeah, it smells, there's a lot of dry parts, but there's something in here like a log. Just picture a bunch of dry logs, but there's like 3 or 4 that are damp in here. Almost sappy in a way, like some of them have a little bit of sap, but not sweet. And there's a little bit of a peppery spice type of thing going on here. You know, for an initial impression, I'm getting a lot, which is always good. ds&durga always keeps me on my toes, and it's a brand that, it's a fragrance that is right up my alley. I feel like there's a lot of things in this that I'm smelling. Now I'm starting to see what Seth Maltz is as a perfumier. Like, I'm getting my grasp on what he likes to utilize and what kind of imagery, like Burning Barbershop, Bow Makers, Mississippi Medicine, almost feel like in the same realm. There's certain bits and pieces, and you'll find that with a lot of noses out there, that you're going to see that the, you know, Nasamato, you know, smells like some Orto Parisis, that some Jean-Claude Elena's from Hermes smell like things that he's done in the past. So I actually really enjoy that portion of the journey, to see what they like to utilize, what is the mainframe of a lot of their fragrances, and how they tweak it from one scent to another. And I own all of these. Like, I've bought all these testers, so you're going to see a lot of these coming through. But interesting fragrance, but at the same time almost kind of redundant once you start buying several from this brand, that you've got to pick your poison of what the secondary notes you would kind of like, or the imagery that really relates to you. The moving parts may be the same, some of them, but at the same time, you'll have a way different, like Bow Makers goes in a way different, like the, you know, the wood polish finish in Bow Makers is totally different than the one in here. This kind of has like a wet wood, lots of dryness though. Interesting fragrance, and this is a brand that I absolutely love. They've been releasing a lot lately. A lot of limited edition stuff, and I know that's kind of gimmicky in a way. Like, I know that some people don't like this brand. They kind of, you know, the minimalistic kind of look, like it reminds them of the brands of Byredo or something like that, kind of like hippie-ish. I don't mind that, and this is a brand that I'm relating to a lot. So there it is. I'm going to end it here. This is running way too long. Initial impression. Solid release. One that I'm going to have some fun with. We're going to have some test drives on it. We'll have a full-fledged review within a few years, but at the same time, a solid release. There's nothing wrong with this release at all. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. Good, bad, or the ugly. If you smelt this fragrance, I love to see the comments. And don't be shy to comment below and tell me something otherwise than different than what I say. Absolutely, you know, encourage that. People click on videos, but they also look at the comments below. I'll never remove a comment that has a differing opinion on a fragrance that I do. I want to keep those up so people can get different takes. Anyway, love to see your comments below. And as always, a great import fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.